Hey, it's Tony Fonte. How you doing? Today's message is a question of, do you do the inner work to prove that you are good enough? If you haven't figured that out already, or if you're new here, my messages are from my own awarenesses and my own work that I've gone through or are currently going through, and this is no exception. I'm going to dive into this question and how I came to that answer, how I came to this awareness, and I'm sharing it with you for those that resonate so that you can move through it as well. Now, before we dive into the message, I want to share a shift in my business. Now, I'm still using spirituality and making spirituality and healing fun. That's just part of my unique gift, my uniqueness of how I use spirituality and using laughter to help with that and doing the shadow work, because healing doesn't have to be so hard. So that's still there. Now, I'm narrowing in my focus down to something that's become very passionate to me, because it's something that I'm currently experiencing and going through. And I want to not only become better with myself, but using my gifts and my powers to help others as well. And is using spirituality to help and guide men to break through their generational shells so they can create powerful, conscious relationships with unshakable confidence and passion. So don't go nowhere, and I will be right back and we'll dive into the message. Woo! All right, welcome back. And before we dive into the message, make sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe, hit the little bell notificator, ding, to be notified when new messages drop. And if you are a man who is looking to break your generational shell of a relationship so that you can create a powerful, conscious relationship with unshakable confidence and passion, or you know of a man that is ready to make the shift, that has been struggling and is ready to make that shift and is like, I'm all in, I just need someone to guide me on that, make sure you share that with them as well. All right, so now that that's out of the way, let's dive in. Oh, wait, hold on a minute. Let's go back for a second. I'll put the link below so that you can actually contact me if you want help in that area, if you want guidance in that area. And if it resonates, I'll put the link below that you can actually schedule a time with me to kind of go through and see what your situation is and see how I might be able to help you with what I do. All right, now we'll move forward. All right, let's dive into the message of, are you using inner work to prove that you are good enough? And I want to share my story with this. So I've had a couple experiences recently where I've had friends say something to me along the lines of, actually in a partner that I had, that shared with me that it's like, you're always talking about the work, talk about the inner work. And it's constant that I was talking about the inner work, doing the work. And they're like, we don't always want to talk about that. We want to talk about other things and what I bought, or just the little things and everything in between, and not so much that. So it triggered me at first because I had something I wasn't wanting to work on, but I had this childlike curiosity to go, why? Why am I doing that? Why am I all constantly talking about the inner work? Is it because I had a community of people who accepted me and I was like trying to continue that acceptance? But what it came down to, as I dove deep into this work, into that question of curiosity, because if we want to grow, we have to have that childlike sense of wonder and curiosity. Why am I this way? Why is this happening? Why is this experiencing? Instead of just taking things for face value, because kids are like, why? But why? And you're like, because I said so, right? But it's diving deep into that question and curiosity of who we are. So I dove in and said, why am I doing that? Why am I triggered by them saying something, going, I didn't realize that. I knew I was doing it, but it was, why was I doing it? And it came down to talking about the inner work. Look at me. It was really going, look at me. I'm doing the work. Am I good enough? Am I good enough for you? Am I good enough for you to love me? That's what it really boiled down to. trying to prove that I was good enough, trying to prove that I was worthy enough to be loved from my partner. It was my inner child crying out, look, Mom, look, Dad, look at me. Aren't I a good boy? Am I doing the things to get your love and affection and attention and your approval and your validation? And I wasn't just doing it with my partner. I was doing it with my friends too. And it was much deeper than me just, I'm in a community of people who accept me. Which part of it was that? Because I still had my doubts in myself and my own insecurity about who I am and my powers and my gifts. So I was seeking acceptance in that way, but really in reality, when I went deeper, because there's always layers, it was always this piece of, am I good enough? Look at me. I'm doing the work. Will you love me now? And it's beautiful. And there's so much power when we can see why we're doing things. Because then we can let go of the external validation, the external approval, the external acceptance, and the external seeking of happiness in someone else and something else. And we can listen to our inner child and love on that part of us. So then we can show up and bring back our power and show up more confidently. Show up knowing that we're already validated. We're already accepted. We're already good enough. And it's honoring that part of us, the child that was wounded back as a kid. Especially for the man who wasn't validated, because that's not what men do. You bottle it all up. You don't show emotion. We reject the feminine side of us. Guess what? We all have that, men. We all have feminine energy. We all have masculine energy and we all have feminine energy. And for centuries, we have fucking denied that feminine energy. And now it's collapsing. Now it's collapsing. And we found other ways to prove ourselves, prove we're good enough, prove we're strong enough, prove we're a fucking man. And it's all crumbling. And a new era and a new wave is coming through. And if we want to build amazing relationships, we want to build powerful, deep, connected, conscious relationships with our partner, we have to first cultivate that within ourselves. It has to get real. And we have to connect with our inner child and let them be seen and heard and know that they're already good enough. The inner work, the shadow work, is an amazing tool, but we can also use that as a crutch, as a way to seek outside of us still. And it seems like we're doing it and keeping it within, but we're projecting that outside of us still. And once you become aware of this, you become free. The first step to healing is becoming aware, and sometimes that's all you need. But then feeling through that, and you saw me as the emotion came up, as I was becoming more and more aware and feeling through that live, because this is something I'm currently experiencing. We become free, and you feel through that. And you connect deeper with yourself, which allows you to connect deeper with your partner. And if you don't have a partner, it allows you to eventually attract that person in. When you stop becoming needy and pushing out and trying to get that back to you, that acceptance, the love, the validation, the approval, and you realize that it's already within you. Yes, sometimes we do feel down, and it's great to have that reassurance. And our partner's going to reflect that back. But as you grow individually, you grow together. you're already good enough. And there's nothing to fucking prove. I want you to breathe that in. Breathe that in with me. And feel that on the cellular level. Do the inner work. But let's redirect why we're doing the inner work. You're doing it for you. You're not doing it to prove anything else. All right, I'd love to hear from you. What resonated with you in the story? What resonated with you on this proving yourself? And maybe you're new to inner work, but maybe you're not doing the inner work to prove, but you want to do things because you want to do it for your partner, which is it's not going to work that way. You have to do it for yourself. Or maybe your partner left and you're wanting to get them back, so you're wanting to do the work so that you can get them back. It's not going to work long term. You have to want this for you, doing the work for you. The inner work is for you, not to prove to anyone that you're fucking good enough or not. So I want to hear from you. What resonated with you? What stood out to you? What came up for you? What stories and connection back to childhood came up for you? What stories came up from past relationships came up for you? I want to know. And again, let me know how I can serve you. Until next time, I'll see you on the next episode of the Laughing Through Life show. Peace.